So something's missing and I don't know how to fix it.
Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
This month is a great month to make your mental health and your own personal emotional healing a priority. And for some, this may mean finally deciding to start seeing a therapist. And for this reason, I've partnered with BetterHelp to assist you guys in finding a therapist that's right for you. With all of the chaos, confusion, and uncertainty going on in the world right now, coupled with our own personal daily struggles, now is definitely a great time to talk to someone who can not just be a listening ear, but can also help you with the what, the hows, and the whys that you're experiencing what you're experiencing. So if you or someone you know and love is going through something right now and feels the need for a little more help, I stress that you guys take advantage of this resource. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your July 2020 reading. Princess India here if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So in this vicinity, you should see me shuffling your cards that are on my desk at present, but to not take up too much of your time, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, the two cards that you guys have that fell out, the first one is the same card that Scorpio got. I think someone else got this too, but it's Earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. I will not go through explaining everything that I explained in Scorpio's reading. You know what I'm saying? Because I went deep, you know. So if you have Scorpio in your chart, and even if you don't, I would suggest, even if you don't watch the whole thing, just watch the very beginning of Scorpio's reading so you can hear my explanation for that. And the next card is Your Life is a Canvas, Artist, Manifestation, and Creative Accountability. Now, it's interesting with this. Creative accountability, I want to take this as a very manifestation-oriented thing, because I said something like this in someone else's reading. I don't remember who it was at the moment, but I said something along the lines of like thoughts are things, and would we create with our thought space, right? Manifests in our life because our actions correlate to our thoughts. So when we look at cause and effect, when we look at the byproducts of our choices, the consequences or what have you, these are mini creations, if you will. And I said it's almost like being pregnant with possibilities and giving birth to an experience or a consequence, and giving birth to an ugly baby and saying that you don't want to raise it. You know what I mean? Because it's not to your liking. However, it's your child and it's your responsibility, proverbially speaking, right? Now, that's what comes to mind with this. Now, it's more or less being responsible over the experience of your life and how you're creating it. But this, in accordance with the Earth card, gives me somewhat of a different perception on this, which reminds me a great deal of Scorpio's reading and the effect that we're talking about conditioning, should-oughts, supposed to's, our cultural mandates for happiness, and ensuring that what it is that you are creating, right? More or less deciding this month if you're creating in accordance with your personal mandates for happiness or for your cultural mandates for happiness, and understanding who and what it is that you really are. Now, getting into you guys' cards here, I'm going to go ahead and go through them really quick. Your central energy for the month is the Star in the reverse. This is challenged by the Seven of Pentacles. Your past influence coming out of June into July is the King of Cups. Your underlying energy is the Two of Wands in the reverse. Your above energy is the Chariot. And we got Aquarius and Cancer energy, her. And going forward, more Cancer energy, going forward from July into August, we have the World card. And why all of this stuff is happening, what's under your deck is the Moon in the reverse. That's more Cancer energy. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys have Cancer in your chart, you might want to check out the Cancer reading as well. But my wonderful Saggies. So Coming into July from June with this King of Cups, this is telling me one of two things. Either one, I mean, you guys are pretty balanced emotionally. You're pretty clear on what you feel, what you want type of deal. But I feel that there's a level of honesty that needs to happen, which goes back to our overall energy cards. It's more or less coming into the month. It's a level of reflection, kind of thinking things over, weighing things out within yourself of what it is that you're building or what it is that you're going towards, right? Now, here's the thing. I feel that something has to have happened here. And honestly, what I feel it's going to be is maybe this eclipse, because there's an eclipse on the 5th. So the first weekend of July, there's an eclipse. And not saying that something's going to happen like, you know, something external to you, but I feel it's almost like it's coming into July pretty confident, pretty even keeled and balanced. But I feel that, I don't know if it's an idea, if it's a thought, like something happens where now you guys are more or less reevaluating. So it's almost like a change of heart, right? So it's like you're coming into this experience one way, right? So it's almost like a glass ceiling being shattered, if you will. You come into the month one way, and it's a perception of, you know, this is the happiest that a person can be. You know what I mean? It's like, this is top notch. And it's almost as if a person, and this is hypothetical, if you were to watch a movie or, you know, meet a person who spent the last 5 years backpacking through Europe, working for themselves, or, you know, something along those lines, it's almost like how you were living up to this point was like bare minimum. And that was okay because you were never introduced to another option. But it's like you guys coming in contact with almost like something that inspires you or shows you something that you didn't know was possible or something you didn't know existed. And it gets you kind of thinking. You know what I mean? And almost now it's like a sense of reevaluating, like, well, I didn't know you could do that. Is this really what I want to do? Am I really happy with this? Am I really fulfilled? You know what I mean? I mean, it could literally be something as simple as like scrolling through YouTube and coming across one of those motivational videos or something like that. And it just giving you a new inspired thought of like, wow, I never thought about that way. So I feel like for July, it's you guys, and it's not necessarily saying that what you're doing up to this point is wrong per se. It's just reevaluating your experience. Like, okay, I've reached this pinnacle. Like, is this really what I want? Is this what success looks like for me? Am I really happy? Is this really balanced? Is this really worth my time type of deal? But I feel that's kind of instigated because if a person is really truly happy and fulfilled in the bigger scheme of things, it's like something like this wouldn't, and I don't want to use the word triggered because it's not negative. It's really inspirational would be the word. It's just, it's putting you in a position to where you're considering a new reality, right? But I do feel like that kicks up a level of self-doubt because it's almost like the standard you were holding yourself to is easily obtainable. You know what I mean? So it's not saying that it wasn't challenging. It's just that it's a goal that was, I don't want to say easy either because I don't want to diminish what you've done. It's just that the energy I'm seeing is more or less, there's more to you than this. And it's almost as if that's what's coming to a head in the month of July. It's almost like, it really feels like it's something you never considered before, but it's a good thing because you kind of reflecting on what you've built up until now. It's more or less like in this deep dive that I see with this moon in the reverse, because we're really talking about diving deep into like, you know, the subconscious, like the motivations behind your behaviors. Like, why did I go this route? Why am I building this life? And I feel in the midst of that reflection, that self-reflection, it's gonna reveal something that you guys forgot about, or, you know, maybe something you were into before, or realizing you got kind of off track from your spiritual path, or that initially when you started this journey, it was something else that you were aspiring towards. And it's kind of seeing a sense of lost motivation, or a passion or hobby or idea or something like that that you abandoned, if you will. So I feel the whole purpose of this month specifically is you guys are on the right track, but it's almost like a retrieving a forgotten part of yourself, if you will. And I feel that doing this kind of deep dive, it more or less, how do I want to say it? I feel what you guys find in this is going to answer a lot of questions for you, meaning like blocks in your life. Like, I don't know. I guess the best way I could explain it, because all the stuff that's coming to my mind, I'm like, this is so confusing. The best way I could literally explain it is if you think of a person who, I don't know, you wanted to start like a big nonprofit or something, right? So you want to start this big, huge nonprofit and you're like all excited about it. So you go get your bachelor's degree and, you know, you go do internships at nonprofits, you know what I mean? And then you start seeing all of the logistics about like how this works, right? So, and then you see, I don't know, just like random stuff, like, I don't know, like maybe there's people who are like stealing money or something like that. So that kind of disappoints you, right? So now the plan changes because it's almost like it was an idealized vision of thinking like, oh, you know, save the world, blah, blah, blah. So when you see the, you know, hypothetical corruption, then you decide to, you know, go get like a master's degree in, I don't know, public administration, right? An MPA, is it? You go get, you know, a master's in public administration, because now the thought is, because you see the corruption, you want to learn about how stuff is structured so that you can be a solution to that particular corruption, right? So you go get your master's and then you end up getting a job, I don't know, like working in, I don't know, politics. Like, I'm just throwing stuff out here, people. Follow me. So you start working in politics. Now, you know, 10, 15 years pass. You've built a pretty, you know, established career, like working in city government or something like that. You have a decent home, you know, you got retirement and stuff like that. But you're so far off track from what started you on this route in the first place. And what I see happening in these cards is like Sagittarius going about life, and it's like all of a sudden you cross this person hypothetically that started out the same way that you did. Like you both were like, want to work for nonprofits, you both got bachelors, you did your internship, they did theirs. But say hypothetically, when they saw the corruption, they ended up, you know, I don't know, doing something where they ended up, you know, bringing down the whole corrupt system or whatever. And now, you know, they backpack through Europe and own 17 nonprofits. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out here, right? But just follow me. So because you and this person have so much of similar paths, but they ended up going right when you went left. So now they're introducing you to something that's an entirely new possibility that you never considered before. That's what I feel that makes you guys rethink your path. Because it's like, wow, they were in the same situation as me and I never thought to do it that way. You know what I mean? So it's almost like that person is used as a catalyst, if you will, because the whole purpose of that happening is because Spirit is trying to get you guys back to, because these are the two cards you guys have in the reverse. Spirit is trying to get you guys to this. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like a sense of discouragement on your path took you away from this. So it's not to say that you're not successful, because it's like you guys are copacetic and chill. You know what I mean? You have success in some area. However, it's not organic to you like this is. You know what I mean? Like you guys set out on this path to make a plan to go towards what your heart's desire was. And it's not to say because you're not any less successful or any less victorious. It's just the only thing with where you guys are now. It's like, and I was saying this with Leo, with the sun in the reverse. And that's funny, y'all have the moon in the reverse, you have the sun in the reverse. But like I say, half-hearted happiness, it's like you're successful, you have money, but you're unfulfilled. Like this isn't fulfilling. This doesn't speak to your soul. This doesn't feel like your contribution to the zeitgeist, if you will. You know what I mean? So it's more or less with this, it's almost like an intervention from Spirit, if you will, to help you guys remember why you set out on the trajectory that you set out on, because I feel like you guys got kind of off course, but I feel for good reason, because it's almost like the things you guys have learned on this detour, they're still going to be very much useful. And like I said, I don't think you guys are any less successful. It's just the thing that has happened is you're unfulfilled. You're not, like what you're doing is missing something, or your life is missing something. It's like from an external sense, everything is cool, but it makes me think of a song actually, dude. It's a song by John Mayer, and the song is called Something's Missing. It's from his very, very first album. And he talks about like that angst of like you're doing everything right, you're hitting all the marks, but it's like something is still missing. And he's like, you know, something's missing and I don't know how to fix it. You know what I mean? It's like everything is fine, but it's just something is missing and I don't know what that is. I feel like you guys are getting the answer to that this month, but it's going to be a catalyst that comes in that makes you reevaluate everything. But it's not to completely undermine your life saying you're going to quit your job and, you know, go backpack through Europe or anything. It's just that you guys are retrieving a part of yourself, or the initial seed that was planted, or remember what the initial plan was, because that ultimately becomes the thing that completes you guys' cycle. So the whole thing that has been missing in your life, in so many words, is whatever this is within you guys that has been forgotten. So it's almost like what's been built up to this point is only 50% of the picture. The other 50% exists within you. You know what I mean? So this, and I feel that that's probably going to happen with this eclipse, in so many words, on the 5th of July. But yeah, dude, but that's what I have for you guys. I think it's great. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna dig a little deeper into this in the extended. So I'm about to go handle that. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. But if not, I love your freaking face, and I will see you guys soon and later. Deuces.